If you followed my channel for any length of time, you can pretty much tell that I am a huge proponent of the shadow and shadow work. In this video, I really want to cover how identifying certain shadow traits that you have can lead you to integrating those traits and just being more fulfilled in life, and avoiding just traps and bad patterns of thinking and just spinning your wheels in the same situations that you find yourself in. For those of you that don't know, the shadow is just essentially aspects or traits that you push away because either the ego doesn't like those traits or those traits just aren't seen as optimally respected or accepted in society. You have to understand that you are a survival machine, and survival includes acceptance of others. So when traits aren't accepted by others, especially those that are important for your survival, like family, you're going to push those traits away. When identifying your shadow traits, there's a certain prelude because you want to understand that the ego can get involved very quickly. So what you need to do to identify these aspects of you is your ego needs to be quiet. And this is just quieting the mind down and being mindful of the thoughts that come up from the ego. Of course, come on now. At this point, you should know I'm going to say meditation. But whatever you need to do to quiet your mind and calm it down, do that, as long as it's not drugs. After you've done that, next, you want to have a degree of compassion for yourself and a degree of allowingness, right? Like allowing yourself to feel certain emotions as you identify these traits. Allowing yourself not to see yourself as perfect. Some of us view ourselves as perfect. Next is, maybe you want to write things down. This is kind of optional. Journaling and writing things down helps a lot of people. It kind of helps me as well, especially when you want to just put your ideas somewhere and things you've learned. I think writing things down goes a long way. Okay, let's get into some questions that help you identify your shadow traits that you're just unaware of. Question number 1, what makes you have an emotional reaction, positive or negative? So if I say something and then it pisses you off immediately, like let's say I say something about global warming, right? Let's say I say it's not that important. What about that statement gets you so mad? Why does it get you so mad? Is it the content of the statement? Is it that you just really disagree with me? Or is it really just you can't stand a differencing of opinion? Like that just riles you up. And because someone has a differencing of opinion, maybe it feels very threatening to you. When you become aware of your emotional reactions, that to a degree may seem over the top a lot of times, you can really start to pinpoint what's going on and ask further questions, because our emotions are huge drivers for us. Next, how do you speak to yourself? Do you speak to yourself well, or do you speak to yourself very negatively? Or is it a little bit in between? And if it's negatively, why do you speak to yourself so negatively? When did that start? Is it because of low self-esteem? If it's low self-esteem, why is that? Like, for example, someone could be speaking to themselves negatively because if they speak to themselves positively about something and then it doesn't go positively, they may feel bad that they were wrong about that, right? And then that shadow aspect is the fear of being wrong. It could be that. Because of that, they speak to themselves negatively, and when things do go wrong, they have a confirmation bias. They're like, see, it went wrong. And then if it goes right but they speak negatively, they kind of just ignore that because they have that confirmation bias. And their shadow trait is just, or their shadow aspect is they don't want to be wrong. Pretty much, they don't want to be seen as wrong. 3, what are your opposing traits? What are opposing traits that you dislike, and in what ways are you like that trait? So opposing traits could be things that are opposite of you. If you're a non-judgmental person, you likely really dislike judgmental people. And you can look at in what ways are you judgmental. If you're pushing away that trait consciously all the time, there could be lingering aspects of you that are very judgmental, right? Maybe you just don't catch it. Maybe other people see it, but you just don't see how you're judgmental. You think you're just a completely non-judgmental person. But that could not be the case. Maybe your parents were very judgmental growing up, and then you vowed yourself to never be judgmental. And now every time someone is judgmental, you judge them on being judgmental. And remember, with this question, you don't like this trait. So it's going to be very easy for you to say that you don't see it. So you want to really think about opposite traits and naturally connect the dots. See if there are dots there with that trait, right? Go back to your childhood and things like that, in your past, and really make that connection. Next, identify defense mechanisms. I spoke about ego defense mechanisms. In fact, I'm going to have a new video kind of like a part 2 to it, going over more defense mechanisms, kind of the lesser known ones. So that's going to be big, but different defense mechanisms, repression, rationalization, things like that. If you can identify these defense mechanisms, you can try to identify what they're trying to cover up. What are they trying to hide in your shadow that you don't know about? It's kind of like a guard, right? That's why it's called ego defense mechanisms. And let me say something. The ego doesn't face the shadow on purpose. It subconsciously doesn't want to face the shadow. So the defense mechanisms are kind of like the guard, so that it doesn't face the shadow. But when you can unveil the defense mechanisms, you can see the shadow aspect that it's trying to hide. So if you're rationalizing all the time, what are you trying to hide, right? A good example is a recent decision I made for my life. And I've wanted to make this decision for such a long time. And for some reason, it just took a long time for me to make this decision. And what I realized was, now, first of all, let me preface this by saying I am genuinely someone that doesn't care what anybody thinks. But for this specific decision, I really cared about what my family thought about this decision. The shadow aspect was not wanting to disappoint certain family members. That was the shadow aspect. And this thing was kind of related to higher education anyways. This is what it was related to. But anyways, I made a certain decision on higher education, and it pretty much disappointed certain family members. And the defense mechanism was just rationalizing, like, oh, you know, I can do both. Oh, I can do all these things. Oh, actually, you know, I actually do want to go down this path. That was the rationalization, because it was defending that thing in my shadow. But what I had to do is get very honest, and then, you know, after speaking to some people, integrating the ability to disappoint family members. So that's what I've been able to do. So I took that aspect, and I was like, it's okay to disappoint people close to me, because I'm making decisions that I want for my life that I know are going to benefit my life long term. For my personal example, you can see how I took that aspect and really integrated it. Now, when I make other decisions in my life, I'm okay with disappointing people close to me because I did that work. Does that make sense? Okay. Next is, what do you dislike in others? This kind of piggybacks off the question, like 2 questions ago. You have to see what you dislike in people. Maybe there's a trait you don't like, but you actually need that trait, because if you use it the right way, it can help you. So for example, if you don't like bold people, you kind of like to be a little politically correct, PC. Maybe if you added some boldness to the way you talk, you'd save a lot of time, you'd attract the right people, and you'd enjoy your life more. So that's an example. What you dislike in others, and see, hey, is that something that I did in the past, or is that something that I may need? And is there a way for me to integrate that in a way that's not as toxic or, you know, annoying? Next, what scares you? Fears can tell us a lot about what's in our shadow. Again, it's things you don't want to face. So if you really think about your fears, analyze them very deeply and closely, and watch them, analyze your fears, write down what you're scared of. When this fear arose, is it a fear that genuinely came from you, or is it a fear that came from somebody else? Is it something that somebody else said about something and then it was brought over to you? Their fear is imposed onto you, and now you lodge that in, and then now you have that fear. So you want to see, when you look at what you're scared of, is that actually what you're scared of, or is it what somebody else is scared of? Next, what do you ignore? What do you put off? What do what don't you explore? What don't you see? Look for things that you ignore. Look for things that you don't explore. Maybe you're non-religious, and then you hear someone telling about some religious story in a scripture or something like that, and that story starts to trigger you, or you just ignore it, or you just you don't even want to hear it. What about that story makes you want to ignore it so bad? Maybe a degree of open-mindedness could show you certain things that you push away. Maybe you associate religion with something. Maybe you associate religion with restricting your life, right? I think that's kind of what I kind of had with it. Although that is true, I still try to keep an open mind with certain different religious teachings and things like that, because some of them do have genuinely true life lessons, and others I'm like, animals on an ark. Get what I mean? So you want to look at what you ignore, because there may be some traits that you have in your shadow about it. What do you love from a distance? This is the last question. This is an interesting one. Whether it's a hobby, whether it's a profession, maybe whether it's a person, What do you love from a distance? Why are you admiring it and loving it from a distance? What is preventing you from approaching that topic, that activity, that person? Exactly. Is it fear? Is it subconscious fear? Is it the fear of abandonment? Is it the fear of failure? Is it the fear of success? Are these the things that you're trying to avoid by loving or appreciating something from a distance? Maybe you're procrastinating on something, but you really want to do it. What is causing that? And how long has this been going on, right? Time frame of loving or admiring something from a distance. So these are some things you could think about. So guys, I hope you really thought about these questions, write them down, kind of maybe, answer them yourself and really work towards this, because when you can identify your traits, you can integrate these traits into your psyche and you have more tools to beat life with, because life is a game and we're not all perfect. We've gone through trauma, we've gone through difficulty, we've gone through trials and tribulations. If we don't identify the lingering things that hold us back, we're just gonna be going in circles. If you find yourself spinning in circles and doing the same thing, not able to move forward in life, working the same job, not being able to move forward, make more money, build relationships, make new friends, grow spiritually, there are traits that you don't know about yourself that you need to identify, you need to work with, right? Maybe some of these you need to drop entirely, let go, and some you need to integrate. I'm out of here.